Yeah, so first up, just a recurring thing. If there's anybody who wants to unmute and introduce themselves, because you're new to the SIG testing meeting or you just want to like speak up, feel free to.
Sure, I can go ahead. Hey folks, I'm Rakshit Gondwal. I am a pre-final year student from India and currently working as a cloud engineering intern at STG. Uh, this is my first time joining SIG testing meeting. Actually, I recently started contributing to Hydrophone, which is, I guess, a pretty new project. So I got to know that it comes under SIG testing. So just thought of why not just dropping by. So yeah, that's all.
Awesome. Yeah. I assume that you're already connected on the Slack channel as well, hopefully. But yeah, I think it's a great place to keep up with stuff and good to see you.
Yep, thanks.
Cool. All right. Yeah. I think the other thing I was going to mention as a potential update is in as part of like the stuff that I'm normally doing for like stuff at Google, I'm also taking some time to do like testing specific stuff. I think one of the first things I'm gonna do is just like I don't think there's any objections to like opening test grid UI in like a Kubernetes repo and just like throwing it in there officially. We have a start on it in the test grid repo. And it's not quite official, but like it exists. So my thought was just do a pretty simple, like, say, hey, we're moving this over to the Kubernetes area. They're obviously related, but they can be developed pretty separately. Like the intention in the first place, anyways, was for like the front end and the back end to not need to use the same protocol anyway. And the front end should just be able to import the back end libraries. So we can keep the majority of the stuff in the Tesco repo as it is now, but that leaves us free to move it later if we want to, or to develop some of the new stuff that's also based on the main repo. And then just have a new UI for a new repo in Kubernetes and advertise it there for test grid UI work. So I'm planning to just like go ahead and open that up unless there is any like objections to that. But yeah. I think I need to go and find the process for like how do I open a new repo. I know there's like a few things to like dot I's and cross T's, but
Oh, that sounds good. I have a question for you and anybody else who's doing end product Google right now. Where are we with the migration plan for the product control plane?
yeah, I think there is not a migration plan stood up yet. I think the latest news that I had heard on that was basically the proud code move is still happening. That's being currently worked on, and I think they're setting up a doc for like the sharing with the community to like get additional feedback on like any other stuff needed around that. I think that's not going to cover migration quite, but that might be
Oh,
a
no,
good
I'm not
place
talking about
to.
shuffling the code around. I'm actually talking about the cloud infrastructure and et cetera, that kind of piece.
Yeah.
The code shuffling is being done separately from that effort. So yeah, I'm interested in that piece.
Yeah, to my knowledge, nothing stood up from Introud's side around like how to actually do the migration stuff. I mostly I was actually asking about that like just last week. So currently there's no like doc or anything around it. I think that might be a good thing to get started with though, and I might be able to like put some time in to help on that as well. Might need some coordination. We'll see. I guess my first thing I was actually going to do, and I got distracted last week from actually doing it, was check for do we have an existing issue for it, and start going from there, because I think that would be the only thing we have, if anything.
All right, sounds good. I can take a look and see what's going on. It would be nice to have such a document in place. Would like clearly mentions who needs to do the work, who needs to sign off on that thing, what the steps look like, estimated engineering time, how big the maintenance window is going to be, and maybe one or two suggestions of when that work can be done. It would be nice to kind of like have a doc like that put together, like preferably for people in Europe.
Yeah, I think the easiest thing to do will be see if we have an existing issue and what we've already said on there. I don't think there's much of anything, but if there is, then that would be great to start with. And then I think I can go ahead and start like a loose like doc or something to start discussion. I don't think I'll have all the answers for that, but I can at least like try and pull suggestions from the appropriate people if I don't have them. So
Yeah, sounds good. Let's get a doc rolling. I think sometime in Feb we should probably work out who all the relevant stakeholders are and a rough outline, and then we can refine it during like late Feb, early March.
okay,
And
that
have
sounds like
like
a good timeline.
and have like a workable proposal that's already been signed up by the relevant parties before we even go to the wider community. Like, yeah, this is what we're doing. All we want from you as the community members, like, these are date preferences, A, B, C, D, pick one. Oh, well, we're gonna propose one and we want you to sign off on it. And then we'll get on to doing the work later this year.
Sounds good. Is there anything planned for like with the control plane migrating? Who is managing it? Like, do we know if Kate's Infra has enough to like do the management there, or is it expected that it's still like on bench prod? I think that's one thing that like has come up that hasn't been like super clear so far. And doesn't need to be decided now, but that might be a good question to have in the doc.
Yeah, okay. That's actually one important open question that needs to be answered. Yeah, I know, but we could retain the status quo, but the good news is you'll have access to a wider pool of engineers that can look at things. Given that it lives in the community infrastructure, it wouldn't be too different from how we manage the Kubernetes clusters there already.
Mm,
And that GKE is I don't want to ding EKS too much, but given that it's a lot more mature and has fewer knobs for people to tweak things with, it's been mostly on autopilot. Not that we use autopilot, but like that's been the experience.
got
EKS has
it.
required a lot of tweaking to kind of get the best out of it. Even as recently as this week, we're still dealing with some architectural problems, and a lot of gotchas, which you won't know till you use EKS for a while. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I think that sounds good. I think eventual goal, but I think it's understood that this might be longer term is like possibly full community management, just so it's not dependent on like the eyes of like one particular enterprise from one particular company who has priorities shifted around. But yeah, I think we can figure out how to like get there. If that
yeah,
makes
I don't
sense.
think Prow is that complicated to manage. Like I managed Community One. It's on autopilot most of the time. I only have to look into it if there's a proper legit outage. And that is
Yeah,
super rare. That hasn't happened. And
I
like
think
we
that's the
carry out
problem.
maintenances. And we carry out maintenances at like good times where I'm not expecting people to complain of like interrupting workflows and stuff. But yeah, I don't think managing and working that cluster is going to be difficult. We just need to do the main migration first. Then that's the sticky bit. I would like to hash out this year.
Sounds good.
The jobs are being moved. So Ricky's made good progress on that. There's a couple of more that we've identified. We're working through those as well. So I think before we even action that migration, most of the jobs that run on Google Cloud will be gone by then, off to the community clusters. There will be jobs that are stuck by policy, not for technical reasons. And with my infra hat, we need to resolve that. But yeah, shouldn't block migration.
Sounds good. If it would also help, I can try and attend something for like sit or infra working group and whatnot.
The infra meeting is every other week. So not the testing week, the other week, at like, is it 9 p.m. London time? So it's probably like 1 Pacific time or something. Yeah, 1 Pacific time, yeah. 1 p.m.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, you can make it. But yeah.
Cool. Okay, I can get a doc started this week at
Yeah,
least
yeah,
with
let's
like
get doc
not a
started.
blank page.
And then I'll fill in with all the relevant details. And pull in our known teams and data, Ben, and see what's going on.
Yeah, that sounds great. Cool. Yeah, no, that sounds good. Is there anything else that folks want to discuss either around that or for a new agenda item? Cool. All right, I think I'm gonna call it good then. Thanks everybody for joining. As always, like feel free to ping in the Slack channel. I think it's pretty active and folks are usually on. If you have anything to follow up with, and yeah, hope to see you all around.
All right, thank you so much.
Take it easy.